WWT Universe. We were in Vegas. We put it all on the line, and we even went double or nothing. And we got so much to talk about. New champions were crowned. We got some more King of the Ring to talk about. Uncle Howdy is at it again, and Raw is about to enter a steel cage match. This and so much more on the pre-show double show of WWT. Let's get it started.
Howdy, folks! This is Willow Nightingale, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling network on the planet.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. It is your favorite councilman, aka the most electrifying man in digital entertainment, back again with WWT Live. We're so glad to have y'all. We got a lot to talk about today because we didn't get a chance to do the post show yesterday, so I guess you could call this double and I was gonna say double or something. I don't like that though. We're gonna think of the name, but this is the WWT double show today. And of course, I could not have someone else be here with me, no other than my favorite new tag team partner in this. She goes by the Sweetest Oos, but y'all know her too as Wrestling with Honey. Let's go ahead and bring her in. Wrestling with Honey, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Feel like a brand new wrestling fan after all the wrestling that transpired this weekend. I heard so many things. It was just a lot of fun. Let's get into it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There was so much going on this weekend, from King of the Ring all the way to, of course, AEW's Double or Nothing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my first times watching AEW's pay-per-view show live by myself, and I gotta be honest, I was in it. I was in it. We got some good. We got some what I like to call some WTF moments, but all around solid pay-per-view. It was over 4 hours, but I enjoyed every single minute of it. But since this is a double show, we want to make sure that we keep it pushing, we keep it going. Shout out to the folks that are in the chat already. James Woodward, appreciate it, bro. Thank you for the compliment, as well as you, Mike Spano. Appreciate you joining us, as well as the other folks that are going to be joining in. Please do not hesitate to jump in the comments, jump in the conversation with us. We pop up the comments here all the time, just like how you can see Dylan Matthews is in the building again. Welcome, sir. Appreciate the greetings. I want to start with the pre-show. So they had the Double or Nothing buy-in. They had two matches before the show actually began. And one of those, the first one was Thunder Rosa versus I don't never know how to say her name right. But it got a lot of double letters in it. So I'm gonna let Honey say her name besides me. I'll fuck it up.
It's Deonna Purrazzo versus Thunder Rosa. That's how I heard it, at least, you know.
I was going to say that so wrong. Solid opener. So, you know, like when I leave these, I like to look at these recaps as dinner, honey. All right, we done went out to a good, like, what's one of your favorite restaurants you like to go to there? And what do they serve?
Some Italian, you know, definitely Italian food, maybe some, you know, chicken francaise or some marsala or some, you know, some pasta, some linguine, clam sauce, stuff like that. But this was definitely a nice little treat for the beginning of the night. This was definitely a good opener. Thunder Rosa delivered as she should, and Deonna Purrazzo did as well. I didn't thoroughly watch every single thing going on during Double or Nothing, but I definitely saw all the highlights from each match. I kind of figured that Deonna Purrazzo was going to take the win on this one, only because, you know, they've been hinting at this for so long. So at least Thunder Rosa had a great showing. Like both women did what they needed to do as far as, you know, in ring work. They were awesome. But yeah, I actually like this. This was a good, as far as what I would rate it, maybe like a lucky number 7 to kick it off. you know, it was exactly what it needed to begin the pay-per-view itself.
Yeah, I'll agree too. And I know we got some people in the comments that are saying that them being on the pre-show was criminal, especially how the match went. It was a great match, but we also got to remember too, like, we've been waiting for this, and they didn't really get a chance to build too much of this story up before Double or Nothing. So I can see why it at least gave enough interest to make the buy-in show. And I think too that just leaps them forward if they're going to keep this rivalry going. This showcased why they should do it. These two were fantastic in the ring. Deanna, picked up the win by, cheap pinfall, as I like to call it. Pinfall. So they got to run it back. They got to run it back.
That's exactly the vibe that I got, like, from seeing the results of this match. It was like, oh, okay, this is going to be something that they're going to build upon. Like, just because this is the pre-show doesn't mean that it's the end of it. We could end up, eventually seeing this down the road as a main event or women's main event, eventually for some sort of title or some sort of crowning at an AEW pay-per-view. So I wouldn't fret too fast, guys, in the chat. I wouldn't fret too fast about these two because it's only the beginning. Yeah.
And so I will say they had a great match. Now I couldn't find nothing for the other match that happened on the pre-show. For some reason, they didn't get a card for some reason on the internet. I don't know why, but the Acclaim and Daddy Ass, as I like to call him, good old Daddy Ass Billy Gunn, took on Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Shout out to my boy Khan, was out there doing this thing. Really good match. I think there was another one of those that was like, it could have been on the main card, but not bad as the appetizer for us to get ready for the entire show. I still don't necessarily agree with them parting ways with Swerve, but it does just have me interested to see exactly what comes of Gates of Agony and Brian Cage now with them on their own once again. Are they going to be hitmen for hire, or do they join up with somebody else, or do they go after folks like Bang 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 in the future? Honey, what are your thoughts?
It would be interesting to see where they go. I kind of like the thought of them being outlaws on their own, making a name for themselves, like as far as separating themselves from the pack. And I love Billy Gunn. I just can't say what they call him. I just feel like it's it just rolls off the tongue bad for me. Mr. Ass was always where it was for me. Attitude Era, Mr. Ass. I get Daddy Ass is like a bit much. There's a bit much going on there. But nevertheless, the match did justice because all are phenomenal athletes. And I would have probably preferred maybe they switch this match along with the Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo, just for purposes of getting them hyped with the Acclaimed and everything, because the crowd's very into them. And, you could start off the show really hot that way and then have these two women go at it. But either way, nonetheless, it was a great match, too. And I can't wait to see what transpires going forward. I mean, it's gonna get crazier either way.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with two of these things that the comments have said. Dylan Matthews, I need Daddy. We're going to call him Mr. Ass for this. Mr. Ass needs to turn on the Acclaim. It's run its course. I can somewhat agree, but also too, it's like, then what does he do? Is it a singles thing? Because it's not like he's gonna do a run like Christian or Adam Cole. Like, it's not like we're about to see that. So I kind of do like Mr. Ass with the Acclaim, just kind of being there for that learning role to help these guys get better and stuff like that. But I will say, one of my favorite movies is Black Dynamite, and there was a lot of kung fu treachery going on at this pay-per-view. So even though we didn't get that to run its course, there was a lot of stuff going on where people were turning, stuff that happened and everything. And then Joseph made a point. I won't say it was a BS match, but I will say that, it kind of looks like they did just kind of throw this together, give them something to do in Vegas to just fill up the card, which is why I will say I agree with you, honey, on them switching the matches. That one should have been first. The Thunder Rosa and Deanna Purrazzo should have been the last one we saw before leading into the pay-per-view. But nonetheless, still two good appetizers before we get into this huge-ass course of a pay-per-view. And they did not hold back at all. They wanted to start us off with a banger.
They just came with a slap in the face. When I saw that this match was first, I was like, oh, okay. This is what we're doing.
I thought maybe we was getting Orange Cassidy versus Trent. And I was just like, okay, I can go, get myself situated a little bit. And they was like, no, first match, Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay. And
this match makes my back hurt. and my head hurt. It gives me a headache and backaches. It's like seeing Thunder matches.
It was so much, and it was also a mental roller coaster that I love to see. I loved watching this match because the match really showed us not only just the capability of Will Ospreay, but also it highlighted the mental aspect it takes when you're telling the story in the ring. So from Roderick Strong kind of like, faking the whole neck injury and him getting ready for the Tiger suplex, but not sure if he wants to do it because he doesn't want to end, his career to where it completely switches up the match and then just delivers. But of course, someone has to come out a winner. And unfortunately, it was not the now former champion, Roderick Strong, because Will Ospreay is now your new AEW International Champion. First belt that he's received in AEW. And honey, I want to know, with him now as champion, what is next for Will Ospreay as far as who should his next opponent be? And how should he move going forward? Does he stay with I always forget his name again. The bald-headed guy that he's with right now.
Don Callis, I think.
Don Callis. Yeah, I always want to call him Don Calculus for some reason. But does he stay with Don Callis, or does he kind of do like a New Japan thing, goes on his own and brings his own people back in? I want to get your thoughts.
I think he definitely should break away from Don Callis. I'm personally not one of Don Callis, even though he's a great heel in AEW. Will Ospreay, since I first saw him appear, and like, cause I wasn't really too familiar with. I've seen a lot of his stuff, but I wasn't like very, very familiar with watching his tape and watching his in-ring work until he showed up to AEW. I mean, I've been hearing about this man's name for years, but the fact that he's just come in and bum rushed AEW the way he has in such a broad way and in such a fashion where it's almost very reminiscent of back in the day when you have a star who is known in other places and then comes to either WWE or goes to or WCW or something like that. It's just his pop. The way the people have come behind him even further, coming into AEW and the matches he's already had that didn't even have to be title matches. He's put on a show every single time and has not missed. He's somebody that is definitely will always be the guy that you can rely on to put that strap on or to put that rocket on him, and he will take it and he will fly it into the furthest degree of space. So I think rightfully so. He definitely, of course, earned his championship run. I think it's going to be a very, very good one. I think it should make history in this case. I just feel like they just pass around titles sometimes in AEW. I don't know if that's just me, but as far as who his next opponent should be, I mean, it's like give me anything. Give me guys like Pac, and give me guys like Malachi. Give me guys like even I would even say Penta even like just go for the nitty gritty and just go for the big names in there, like even names that you don't normally see. But I just think he should just run through the whole roster, and I don't even think it would matter who his next opponent would be. But he slayed, and well deserved. Congratulations to Will Ospreay for his crowning this last night. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I will. I would definitely agree with that. I also agree with Dylan again talking about bring some of United Empire folks over and make it a faction feud, or let Ospreay run through other people of the undisputed nobodies. Just like again to Honey's point, I don't think it really matters who you pair him up with. He's going to give us a show. This is I've been following Will Ospreay since Ricochet was King Puma.
Puma, okay. Okay.
I've been watching them since they've been doing that stuff.
Okay.
And I love seeing him come in, as you said, to your point, because he's doing what I wanted to see Kenny Omega do in a major promotion for wrestling. Like, he's been killing it in Japan. I wanted to see Kenny do that in WWE, but of course, things happen, so we never got to see that. Same thing with Will Ospreay. He said, him going to WWE doesn't seem very likely anytime soon and everything, but for him to come to a major promotion like this one and to do it just like this is exactly what I want to see. Come in, dominate, do what you need to do, and then of course, as he's been dubbed as well, along with Mercedes Moné and Okada, the big three, of course, all of them becoming champions today. We're going to talk about them further into the show. But I was so glad to see this, and I agree with you too. Of just like I said, just throw it at it, throw the gauntlet, bring the gauntlet match, do that. Let's see what he does with that.
Because he can handle it. I bet you he can.
Yeah. And just to answer Dylan, of course. Like, I think after watching this match, makes that even more like wherever this guy goes, he is a hot ticket.
Yeah, it's just a valid and guaranteed, as they say, ass in seats. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely one of those attractions that you could see on the billboards and on the trucks and everything like that, and the merch. Like, you could see it all in it for sure. Especially Bruv and calling him the Billy Goat and everything like that, and the way the crowd just goes crazy for him and with his song and everything like that. He has everything. He has it all. He has the total package. So yeah, put a strap on him and let him dominate.
Yes, exactly. Someone else who decided that they wanted to come dominate on this pay-per-view. A little bit after this, the return of Adam Cole to come talk his shit about being the devil and how the devil is going to run roughshod. But just before he thought he had it, the return of all of our favorite Mr. MJF, a.k.a. Hunter Hearst Maxwell.
I can't. Hunter Hearst Maxwell. Yes.
His epic debut back at AEW. Well, return to AEW. And just like in every fashion, dropped a tremendous promo that had the crowd rocking. But one of the biggest two takeaways that we had was questions that needed to be answered for the fans were finally answered. MJF, was letting people know that he's here. The old MJF is back and displaying some new ink on his leg, letting us know, as he calling himself the Wolf of Wrestling, that he's not fucking leaving and he is staying in AEW. Now, honey, with everything that's been going on with him, taking a break, not knowing exactly if he's going to resign or anything, if he's going to go to WWE, how do you feel about MJF making this decision to let everyone know that he's here for the long run in AEW?
Parts of me were always like, he would be a great fit. He would be such a great fit in WWE. He would be so great. He'd be great anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But he's just that. He'd be a considerable golden boy of WWE. A lot of people wouldn't like it, but he would be. But considering that he resigned with AEW and judging by that pop alone, there was two different pops.
Yeah.
Two different pops. There was one when his music hit, and these are important. That's important. But the most important one is when they see him come out. And that pop got even louder. And it did give me instances of when Triple H returned in Madison Square Garden, because it's the same exact thing happened. And then he ends up wearing the same kind of, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, Maxwell. Get your coin. Stick with, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a wrestler and a person also that shows loyalty, and that's important as well in the company. And he's been someone who has carried AEW, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be considered one of the pillars, if that. So absolutely bring him back, re-sign him, give him whatever he wants for it. And of course, fake PK is good for it because that's just what he does. Oh, yeah. But Maxwell Jacob Freeman looks in incredible shape. He's now considering himself the Wolf of Wrestling, which I like for him. And did the whole Leonardo DiCaprio movie quote. And I can't wait to see it. Run it back, Adam Cole and MJF. Just run it back. Just give me a nasty, gritty match, and MJF, get your revenge.
Yes.
I'm here. I'm here for it.
Yeah, same. I'm looking forward to seeing when it happens, and if it's going to be at a regular showing or if it's going to be a pay-per-view, most likely a pay-per-view, but I know that they're going to give us a classic. Now, and two things that I also caught from watching this is I enjoyed that he signed. And to be honest, Dylan, we never know what happens in life. Yes.
Listen, Dylan, to comment that real quick, and that's what I meant to say in my point of because you mentioned the tattoo, Councilman.
Yeah.
He tatted on him so they knew it was real. And when you do that, listen, a lot of people says it's a little cringe, but hey, guess what? If you like what you like, and it's his body, let him tattoo whatever he wants, man. And if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. And and you best believe MJF doesn't give a damn about what anybody else feels. So don't even bother criticizing about the tattoo.
Yeah,
he can have AEW and then still have a WWE tattoo if he wants to.
I mean, low key, he could just fill in the AEW part and put his logo right there. But what I loved about it was that it did show, like you said, it showed a good loyalty, not to just be a company man and everything like that, but for the simple fact that it shows, okay, people still believe in AEW, even backstage.
Right.
Shows that it's like, hey, you got one of the hottest stars that we know WWE would have loved to have gotten, but he's staying here. And then two big things that I point out is I love how much he trolls WWE, and it's going to force them to have to respond one of these days. From the Triple H attire to even now calling yourself the Wolf.
Mentioning Vince McMahon by name.
Come on,
you heard the air come out of that room and a pin drop. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Triple H, you have 24 hours to respond. You got 24 hours.
You do. Braun Breaker should respond. Corbin, you should also respond with him calling himself the Wolf.
Oh,
y'all have to say something. But it's just like, I already know they're trying to keep them very separated, but you have folks like MJF who is consistently knocking on y'all door. And two, this also shows not only from a competitive side, but also too from a side of, this is what we want to see. We want to see this war. Y'all keep trying to dodge like, oh, okay, it's not no, AEW be gone in the next 10 years. I don't think so. I think AEW celebrating 5 years with Double or Nothing, showing MJF, tatting himself, letting you know, hey, I'm here to stay. So let us know, like, hey, this war is getting ready, and they're knocking on y'all door. And it's not like a Cody situation where I'm breaking the throne, so I go back. But y'all are gonna have to say something in Honey's case. You got 24 hours to spawn. Don't be like Drake with this Kendrick stuff. You don't get left in the dust. You gotta get left in the dust.
Keep it going back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, more Wolf of Wall Street references. Yeah, not sure we'll get a troll with that. Yeah, you're right. We might not get we we might not get a troll, but also too, they might slick throw it in. They might not do no names, but they might slick throw it in. But I will say, and then the only person that I can see doing it is Seth. I think Seth is the only one I can see bold enough. Oh, no. You know what?
Well, you know what? Cody could.
Drew.
Drew. Or CM Punk. Drew, CM Punk. Cody could say something if he wanted to, but Cody's not that petty. I mean, he could be petty, but he's not that petty.
Yeah, and I don't see CM Punk doing it just yet. I would see him following up someone else doing it. I don't see him.
Because he's kind of done that already since he appeared.
Yeah, so I see somebody else actually calling it and mentioning it. Maybe even Kevin Owens. Maybe even a Kevin Owens might say something. But it is consistently showing that, hey, AEW is knocking on that WWE door, and eventually y'all are gonna have to recognize it. So, but we're gonna keep this thing pushing. Moving on to the next match, it was a 6-man tag match for the Unified Worlds Trios Champion. Pac back in good old form with his homeboys Penta and Ray Phoenix making up the Death Triangle against some boys. Bang, bang, bang. I don't think of Cactus Jack. I be thinking of Pops from Wayne's Brothers. Bang, bang, bang. I need to come out and do that. But this was a phenomenal match. Like, again, this is one of those, like, you're going to get great results from this. Great spots. Shout out to Ray Phoenix almost busting his ass at the top of the stage. That was hilarious.
Jesus Christ. You gotta love that. It
was so funny.
It goes to show you that nothing's perfect, even in wrestling. It's all in good fun either way. You know, that happened didn't that happen to FTR when they were on SmackDown? It was during the COVID era, and one of them tripped on the thing, and he was like, "Hey, I just fell." Like, it was on live television. It was great. I love things like that.
Oh yeah, same thing with Mandy Rose at WrestleMania when they were in Tampa and she fell.
Yes.
It was that was a hard slip. Or even Randy, playing it when he came out, he was like,
"Yep."
It's like, I ain't trying to fall either. So I thought that I always love when it's like, hey, show the reality of it. It's cool to show it. Bang 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 did remain the Unified World Trio Champion. Death Triangle came up short thanks to a returning Juice Robinson interfering in the match and allowing Bang 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 to remain the champions. Now I gotta say though, with this and Bang 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 consistently now become holding on to the Trios Championship. How does this look for this division with them? And now having Juice Robinson added back into the picture, how does this look now for them? Does this make them now, as we kind of discussed with like a Roxy Perez, does this make them here at the Trios division, or do you see someone else coming in to really give them a problem and taking these belts from them, especially having AEW and the Ring of Honor Trio Champions in the mix?
Well, being that AEW has such a full roster of talent and people there's people that they don't even know what to do with, that haven't done anything yet. I'm sure they could come up with a bunch of Trios champions to go at them. a bunch of contenders. Trios champions. I wasn't really expecting Death Triangle to take this one. I kind of knew Bang Bang Gang was going to keep this. They've been on a roll since they've acquired these Trio championships. Unfortunately, they're not giving they didn't give my House of Black that push, but that's all right. That's neither here nor there. It's fake DK. I'm not gonna have no squabbles about it. I'm not gonna let you stress me out on my own show. It's not happening. Anyway, Bang Bang Gang. I could see anybody coming up and being a problem for them. I would have assumed, being that even though Death Triangle is such a strong team to have, either way, I feel like there's going to be a lot. Ooh, that's thunder. Sorry, guys. That's a lot of there's still a lot of potential for them to grow a trios tag division. So, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head who can get it. But I would have thought that House of Black would be their biggest problem. But
So I'll ask
I
this for you.
digress.
I'll ask this for you. Are you familiar with a majority of the roster in AEW before I ask this question?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. So if you had to build a trio, we've seen them always kind of put groups together and then they go do their thing. If you had to build a trio to take on Bang Bang Gang, which 3 AEW stars would you make into a trio?
Oh, okay. That's a cool question. Let's see. Which 3 I would put? I would put somebody like, and it could be anybody. Anybody, okay. I would put, this is so cool. That's such an interesting question. I think I would put, okay. I would put Pac.
Okay.
I would put Takeshita.
Okay.
And I would put Bryan Danielson.
That's a
If
fire.
I had to build one, like
That's
off the
a
top
fire
of my
trio.
dome,
That's
like,
a fire trio.
like Bryan Danielson in his prime, Bryan Danielson, not so much.
New one.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much getting too old, Bryan Danielson.
That's a solid trio. That is a solid trio, honey, and that would give them a run for their money.
Yeah, like a little bit of everything. Like I like versatility in my teams, you know.
Yes,
Yeah, because like with AEW, I mean, I guess with some of them, you know, with some teams they know what they're doing, and sometimes it does work when they do put them together.
Yeah,
and it's like they have those cases where they accidentally put them together and then it works really well, but then you have ones that are already built together and that created something like House of Black, but don't do anything with it. Like that's what kind of irks me. So I really hope that even as having the Bang Bang Gang as trio champions and being that they're building them so strong, they should definitely be able to find plenty of triple tag teams to run through them. Even have like a crazy tornado triple tag match at some pay-per-view, you know, something crazy in a cage. I don't know.
Yeah, a ladder match?
I like chaos, or a ladder match.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Oh, shout out to the boss lady. Boss lady's in the chat watching. We love you, boss lady.
What's going on? Real TK in the building.
Yeah.
But speaking of a TK, we're going to move forward with the fake TK, who also came out yesterday, along with the widow of Owen Hart, Dr. Martha Hart. Going to make sure I put some respect on her name. And they came out to announce the Owen Hart Cup has returned for the men and the women. And there's a new stipulation that has been added to this tournament.
Okay.
And such, the winner of the men's cup and the women's cup will receive a title shot at All In at Wembley. Now you know.
Now you know what?
Max, don't this sound kind of familiar?
Hold up. You know what? You know what, TK? You know what? This is it. This is it.
Heel of the day!
That's TK. That's it. That's all we got. You know what? I'm done with you. Like, the way Councilman is laughing. Meanwhile, this is me. This was me when I saw that.
Why would that man play games with me? Why would you play games with me?
You don't want to play this game, fake TK. You don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke. Oh my God. So I guess. All right. So where we have crowns, they have cups, and I guess depending on what you're crowned or what you're awarded, you get a title shot. So. But I don't know. I just couldn't help but wonder that I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's like that seems real familiar. Like, and just though too, the heels on it being announced all in the same week because this was just announced by Triple H, I believe maybe Thursday or Friday of last week. Oh, bring back the neck brace. I'd listen to you more if you got the neck brace.
Oh,
and
man.
also too, Fake TK.
Okay.
You need to learn mic skills, okay?
Oh.
You need to learn how to talk. If you're going to come out here and talk and be the boss, you need to come out here and learn how to talk because you definitely do not sound like you run this company. And Joseph says the stipulation is making me laugh. 24 hours after Gunther and Nia won King of the Ring and get their SummerSlam. Hell, that is hilarious to me.
You know what?
And that's just what it was. That's just what it was. We're like, you know what? That's a good idea.
That's a great idea, TK. That's a great idea, Fake TK. That's a wonderful idea. How you are brilliant mind you are.
You so original. You so original. So original. But you know what's so funny? What I found was really troll-like about it of him, though. I love how he threw it on Martha and said it was her idea. If you go back and watch, he was like, Martha called me with a great idea. No, the fuck she didn't. No, she didn't. She probably don't even watch WWE no more. You saw this, and you came up with this. All right?
Right. This was your idea. So what do you mean? What's this we? What's this me stuff?
I did not say any of this. But we do have, again, the Owen Hart Cup tournament coming for the men and the women. They will receive title shots at All In Wembley this year. So I would like to know if we can, not trying to put too much pressure, but if you have your crystal ball next to you, honey, who do you predict will take the Owen Hart Cup in the men's division and the women's division this year?
Ooh. I'm thinking about like the hottest commodities that they have. Owen Hart. I'm thinking of somebody who has, like we talked about, the whole package. It's really hard not to pick Ospreay, but I could see somebody like Moxley maybe winning the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I think that would be a really cool accolade to have under his belt. Women's could be Toni Storm or like Dylan says here. Dylan even says Mariah May. That would make a lot of sense too. I don't want to say Mercedes. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it. That's like everybody's obvious and favorite choice. But I could see somebody like Toni Storm taking that. I love Toni Storm and I love the way she wrestles and she's just got everything. So I mean, I could see her taking it. Or even let's see, thinking. Sorry, I'm running through the roster in my head. Hold on. There's one.
Well, while you searching, I would say my men's. I was going with Joseph as well. I'm gonna say Christian Cage. I feel like the father, for some reason, might pull this off and do something with it and win the cup. Especially again, being able to have been there, wrestle with him and stuff. I can see that, or even again, Adam Copeland in that fact, and then see them run it back in the finals.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But who did you do? You say who did you have for the? Did you have another pick?
I would say Toni Storm, or I would even say if she ever comes back, if she were to come back, because I think she's not. I think she's going through like something medically or something like that. Britt Baker.
Yeah, I've been wondering where she's been.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good choice, Eddie. Chris Statlander could win the Owen. That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So yes, Dylan, we do care. So we slightly care. Let's say that we do slightly care. So, but that was announced. So, again, they haven't announced the bracket or anything like that as to who's competing in the tournaments. I'm sure we'll find that out either this week, maybe leading into next week with this being an announcement. But I'm sure they're going to be building this up as they're getting ready to do All In Wembley this year. So best of luck to whoever's in there on the men's side and the women's side. But speaking of timeless Toni Storm, she was the next match up after this announcement versus Serena Deebs. And if you were betting against timeless Toni in Vegas, then I'm sure you're having to take that spirit flight home coach style, because timeless Toni Storm retained her title in her glorious fashion, as she should. But I do have something about this, and I'm going to let you, honey, go first and let me know, how did you feel about the match and Toni retaining?
From what I saw in the clips that I saw in the match, it seemed to be one of the highlights. Toni Storm outdoes herself every match that she has. She gets better and better with time, pun intended. Serena Deeb was also fantastic to watch. She's not as flashy, but she's very technical, and she gets into it when she meets, when she wants to. Like she makes you feel something from her performance, which I really, really like. But yeah, I mean, she said this was going to be a challenging match, and this was probably going to be one of the greatest women's matches for a world championship that you ever see in AEW. And you know what? She might probably be right, because it actually, with Toni Storm and her performance since she's evolved into this timeless era and this timeless gimmick, it's just been completely nonstop for her. So why not just keep that rocket on her? She's hanging on to it. I feel like it's going to take the right person to come back and take this from Toni, and rightfully so, because she's just that chick right now.
Yeah, no, I agree too. She is just showing why she is the AEW Women's World Champion. I love that Serena Deebs had to pull out a lot of her stops, especially the finish coming off from the top rope with Toni Storm. And again, too, we don't normally see Serena do that. So I think this does prompt them to do a second run of this, just because of how well this match was. And so I hope we do get to see a rematch of it. But I am a timeless Toni fan. So as long as she has the belt, as long as she's doing her thing and this black and white is consistently coming across my screen, I'm not mad at it. But I will say, there was a little friction through the match. Serena Deebs had Toni Storm in a submission hold, and it looks as if Mariah May was about to throw in the towel, but of course her liaison refused to do it, and it seems like he kind of took the blame when it came to that, as Toni Storm threw the towel out. Now, I'm seeing in the chat as well, but I want to ask you, honey, are we seeing a potential Mariah May heel turn?
Oh, absolutely. I've been sensing it since it wasn't Revolution. It was the one after that. I've been sensing that ever since, between these two. The friction has been there's been a lot of tension, unspoken tension between the two, as it should and would, with two alpha females, being that Mariah May is coming out into her own as well. I saw her in Ring of Honor during Philly weekend, and she is a badass performer. And to be under Toni Storm's wing for so long, to be able to have that not crutch, but to be able to have that relationship in order to build herself to be a better wrestler, and to be able to use that to her advantage, it could possibly be a thing. I could definitely see a Mariah May heel turn, or even before Mariah May could even be a heel turn, maybe Toni pulls it on her first, because Toni Storm isn't stupid.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I agree. Which I think even too, after seeing that, furthers the pick of her potentially winning the Owen Hart Cup for the women's division and earning the shot. So I see it building, but so we'll see what comes of it. But for now, timeless Toni Storm still remains your AEW Women's Champion. And as the night continued on, we went into two former best friends, now turned bitter rivals. Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. And Trent Beretta, although Orange Cassidy threw everything that he could at him, Trent Beretta turned out the victory and got a little weird afterwards. Trent Beretta left Renee Young was trying to interview him, and then he left not via the stage, but actually walked through the crowd and just disappeared. So, honey, I want to get your thoughts on it with this being what he wanted to be like an actual wrestling match between these two to show him how it's done and defeating Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy, shout out to him returning with the original theme music and stuff as well.
Yes.
Has this done something to Trent in defeating him, or do you see this now potentially Orange Cassidy won. I'm so sorry. Orange Cassidy won. I thought Trent won. Wait.
Ooh.
Didn't Trent win?
Oh no, I guess. Yeah.
Orange Cassidy won.
No, it says Orange Cassidy won. Yeah, he pinned it.
Okay. My apologies. Orange Cassidy won. But it seems like it kind of made Trent go away after that. Now, with this happening, how do you see this now playing out for Trent as kind of this whole thing, like I quit thing? Do you see him coming back? Do you see this now maybe being a resurgence of Trent and we see a different side of him? Or is this the last we're really going to see of Trent Beretta in AEW?
I'm not sure. This is one of those situations where it literally could be anything, but it actually happened in front of camera, so I'm assuming they wanted us to see it. That's at least what I would think, and it was done with intention. The key here is Don Callis, I think. The key is Don Callis. He was at commentary for this match, and I think that what we're seeing is I forget his faction or his group of guys that he has under him and what he calls them. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of unraveling with his clients, obviously, because there's so much competition. There's only so much you can do with a whole group of alpha males besides getting them to jump people in the ring. Okay, these guys want to break out of their shell. They want to become outer extensions of what they really are and what they feel they can be. So I feel like Trent's maybe fed up. Trent's maybe set up and maybe he's feeling held back, or maybe he's feeling screwed, or maybe it was something entirely different. Maybe it was something that had to do with backstage or management, or maybe it was just the end of the match. He didn't want it to go the way he wanted it to go, and it didn't, or maybe he was promised something and it didn't turn out that way as a result. But for all the right reasons, I would say that he's in the right to be upset if that's the case. And but I think we will see him. Maybe it can be a resurgence of some sort. Maybe it could be to a point where he completely goes off the rails and become completely unhinged and just jumps everybody, including Don Callis.
Yeah,
which I wouldn't be mad at. Just saying.
Would not be mad at either. Don't mind seeing him in a neck brace either. Just throwing that out there. But now Don Callis did say he would be extending a contract to Orange Cassidy this week after his performance. So now I do have to know, do you think Orange Cassidy signs with Don Callis, or does he remain this fan favorite that everybody loves?
I think Orange Cassidy is going to remain the fan favorite, and I think he should, because it's been working for him since AEW has been created, and he should just stick with that.
I agree. What I don't particularly watch AEW as much as I watch WWE, but from those, Orange Cassidy seems to be the one that really stuck out to me and really made me go, okay. I not only at first liked his gimmick with the whole hands in the pockets, but the fact that it's like, yo, no, you actually put on a good performance in the ring. I don't mind watching you throughout the ring and throughout a match and stuff. So I was like, okay. So yeah. I think they do have a good baby face in Orange Cassidy. And just like you said, Don Callis don't need no more people. I get it. I get him having a roster, like you said, of alpha males. Leave Orange Cassidy alone. Leave Orange Cassidy to where he is. But shout out to the both of them, giving them a good match. Will say, this was one of those like kind of this was like the bread basket at a restaurant for me. I've had my appetizers. I've had like my first 3 courses. We're waiting on the next one. Okay, so here's the bread course. The next match, however, was the soup. of the course. And it was this triple threat match for the FTW title. The current champion. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm okay to just like we could skim past this real quick because it really is the soup. Basically, unless you've been living under a rock, Jericho is still the FTW champion. I personally didn't see this match entirely thoroughly. I just saw highlights and bits and pieces. I guess I really wasn't expecting it, considering that they brought back Shibata and what's the point of highlighting these stars if you're not going to crown them at some point? I mean, maybe it's just me. I just feel like I feel like the crowd at this point. Please retire. No offense. We love you, Jericho, but please retire.
Yeah,
it would have been so much better without. It's not saying that it would have been better without Jericho, because Jericho is a GOAT. I'm not going to sit here and downplay anything Jericho has done. But I'm just saying, as far as for the sake of this match and for the sake of the young talent of AEW, if Hook was still the FTW champion and he went against Shibata, that would have been a perfect match one-on-one right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't need Jericho, but here we are.
Yep. I treated this match like fans used to treat the women's wrestling during the Attitude Era. That's when I went to the bathroom. I did not want to see this match. I didn't miss nothing to this match. And the fact, like you said, that he retained is just one of those things of just like, man, seriously, that's what we're doing. So we can go to the next match, which is another one that also had me kind of in the same boat. And it was between the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley against Konosuke Takeshita. And it was, I'm a fuck these names.
You know what it is? It's because I've been doing this with Professor and Seth and Boss Lady and everybody, so like they like when I hear them say it, I just mimic how they're saying it, and I'm that's like I don't want to screw up anybody's name, but I've never watched as much AEW until I was part of WWT anyway. So
right, same. So and again, I appreciate you getting me right. I'm still gonna mess it up. I'm still messing up.
Yeah.
But this was an eliminator match to see if Konosuke would get a title shot for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and he lost. Now I'm gonna ask you, honey, in this with Jon Moxley recently becoming champion, is this kind of that same feeling as the Chris Jericho match? Like, why would he not go over to receive a potential shot?
Listen, I would have thought for many reasons that even they would have made Mox a transitional champion with this one and handed it to Takeshita. But I'm not sure what their motive was or what they were trying to execute with this match. If they weren't going to crown Takeshita in the first place. I mean, the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." This was about another 10 to 15 minutes of our lives that we are not going to get back. And this was a match that was on regular TV. So what was the point? I guess, I don't know. I hate having a match against a champion to get a title shot. Now, once again, I don't mind those, Dylan. Like you said, it could have been on Dynamite, could have been on Collision, wherever y'all wanted to throw it at. But not having such a phenomenal talent go over to receive one seems like a bad call, especially for someone who has done so much over at New Japan. And to be who is potentially the new face, someone who can potentially replace Okada in Japan as the champion, and for him to not win, and then to lose clean, right?
Just seems like, okay, Moxley, are you starting to not be about the company no more and just be about yourself now when it comes to this? Like, I was very confused about this. Well, that comes up right there. I guess the big head is growing, and we got Diana Moxley out here getting ready to perform for everybody. So I guess that's what it is.
Diana Moxley.
Hey, man, he's ready to sing with everybody. I guess
Hilarious.
so. I guess that's what we're getting. But this just kind of seemed like, in my sense, it seemed like a bad booking decision, especially when it comes to an eliminator match on a pay-per-view. On a paper, like again, if this was Dynamite, understood. But for pay-per-view, you let him go over. Now he didn't have to win if it's a title shot. I understand that.
Right.
But an eliminator match, like I just think that made him look bad, and it also made Moxley kind of look like a lot of the people that you couldn't stand in WWE that walked over and swung their big stick around.
The same people that he always talked about that he hated being around. Just saying.
So another one of those where I was like, man, you gave me a banger, but it was like the end. You know when you eat something and it gives you that small little taste, like, oh, this started good, but what was that aftertaste? Oh,
yeah, no, not feeling it.
wasn't feeling it, but this next match made up for it. We had two courses that we wasn't really feeling, but this next one did not disappoint. It was for the TNT Championship. Adam Copeland took on the exceptional Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage. And we wasn't even 1 minute into the match. Everybody bleed. Everybody already got blood out. Oh, this was for me. This was match of the night. This was match of the night for me personally. Watching this from beginning to end, oh my goodness. I don't know if Adam Copeland got on his knees and blew God for him to be able to keep doing what he's doing.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But jeez.
Yeah.
To say that you had a broke neck and could never wrestle again, and you hit a barbed wire steel cage match and a goal, not no thing like, okay, we're gonna look at it like we're gonna take care. No, my boy jumped off of the steel cage with Malachi wrapped around the table and landed it and still got up, man. Yo, honey, I just gotta know, because you are such a big fan of House of Black. How did you feel how this story played out? And we're gonna talk about that in just a second, Eric, guys. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. We just want to, we're going through the motions. How did you feel about watching the highlights of this match?
The match was great. It was so great. It was so good. I didn't even have to. It's so crazy because it's like once you know the stipulation of the match and you see who the two athletes are that are competing in it, it's just going to be nothing but pure, utter chaos. And I absolutely love it. It was very, very Batman and Joker-esque, if I might say, to the point where Malachi was just, and then the blood, it was just so much drama to it. And then, having House of Black involved, I already knew that was going to bring some kind of brood situation. Now, see, if Christian Cage wasn't Christian Cage, we would have gotten a legit brood reunion. Just saying. We would have gotten the legit brood reunion because they are all on the same roster now. And Gangrel showed up, and when I saw he came out, and I was just like, wow. I was like, well, and not for nothing, I feel like this was probably Adam's way of making up. I would say making up for the situation when he did the brood thing in WrestleMania. Yeah. And literally, it was said that it was planned for Gangrel to show up at AEW doing the entrance with the music and everything like that, and it kind of ruined it. But and Adam actually spoke openly about that story in an interview, and I think this was like his big makeup, his big thank you for Gangrel, for always being there to, help him out as part of the brood. He, like without Gangrel, we wouldn't have gotten the Edge and Christian that we have today. At the end of the day. So, but this was really awesome. And shout out to House of Black. Shout out to Malachi Black, because he's just a testament of the wrestler that he is. Like, everything that he does, people don't realize it, but I feel like he turns it into gold. And he's just one of the most underrated and underutilized, most talented superstars that they have on that roster. And fake TK is just, I just want to like, but
yeah.
yeah.
I think just because of the fact that he doesn't hold back with the personality that Malachi has. And hey, I want him to come home. Come on home. If it's me too, come on home. Your wife is there too. Come on back. But right. I think too, for the fact that it could work with that, because Bray got a chance to do it and they let Bray shine through. So now with especially the Uncle Howdy stuff, I feel like Malachi's personality and his demeanor of how he moves would be a lot more welcomed in WWE. Now I can't say I don't want Brody and Buddy to join, because I want Christian to break up and give us a Brood run before y'all retire. I want to see y'all take on the Bang Bang Gang.
Oh my God.
That's my pick. I didn't want to say it just yet, but that was my pick. The Brood to come back together and give us the intro and everything with them coming up the stage. Fake TK. You better make it happen. You better make it happen, man. Hey, look, you got some gold right here that you can put together. Not sure where Malachi is about to end up, if he's gonna stay, if he's gonna leave. Not really sure. Eddie James, to your point, saying that Malachi's not going to WWE while he's been with AEW for a while. Yes, that's true, but also that was around the time where Vince McMahon was also there at the time he went to AEW. With it being a new regime there, like I said, with it being a little bit more open to creativity, unlike a Mercedes Moné, I feel like Malachi would be a lot more welcome with what he does and what he brings to the table. And I could even potentially see Brody and Buddy going over there too. With Buddy being married to Rhea Ripley, I can see this them being able to bring House of Black, or I guess House of Alistair, to WWE. So I don't see it being like, oh, it won't happen and stuff, but only time is going to tell. But this was one of those matches where this was their wheelhouse. And this is just like, this is their wheelhouse. And they gave us everything we needed. And it just really looked like two fans of this sport having such a great time and figuring out, what can we do here? How can we do this? Let's do this one. Let's have this happen next. Oh, this was a 10 out of 10 for me. This was a 10 out of 10. I was not mad. This is one of those where I'm like you, honey. I want Malachi to succeed. I'm like, I want y'all to utilize him better. But with this one, did not mind the grizzled veteran going over for this one, just because of how everything played out and getting to see Gangrel get his flowers and get the standing ovation that he got being in AEW and being back with Edge. So shout out to Adam Copeland. And if I'm correct, was this the first time his music from WWE played?
Yeah.
Because they played it this time.
They did.
And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is that the had to move my life? And I was just, that's like, is that the real version?
That's Jim Johnston version. The door's not open, but it looks like it's like a little creak, like little.
Yeah. I was like, I heard that all this day. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. That's the Burger version. So.
Oh no, well yeah, Edge had that. He had but I thought you were saying that they played Gangrel's music.
Oh no, because the last time.
Edge took that song with him. Yeah, he took that.
But they changed it the first time when it came. Like it sounded like I think like someone else was singing it, or someone did a cover of it. Maybe I'm just tripping. But I think it was like my first time really just kind of catching like, oh, that sounded like his old music, like all the way through. Oh, you know what it is? I think they changed the beginning part.
Oh yeah, it's a woman. It's Beth. It's Beth talking, saying you think you know him.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, that's what it was. That's what changed. That whole it's funny how one little part will change a whole song for you.
Yeah.
But man, shout out to both of these competitors giving, in my opinion, match of the night. Such a great performance. And so we move on to the first of the triple main events of AEW. The TBS champion Willow Nightingale took on the debut of Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, aka I don't have another aka for it. Thought I did, but my mind went blank. These two were the first again of a triple main event. Solid match between the two of them. Mercedes Moné did not miss a beat. And due to that, the CEO toppled Willow Nightingale to become the new TBS champion. Now, honey, I know you have a lot of opinion on this particular match, this particular superstar. And I want to know, just from that and the conversation that we previously had about her stating her being the greatest woman wrestler of all time, how do you feel after this match and her being crowned TBS champion?
I think it's great for her, and I think it was extremely expected. Obviously, this was a Mercedes Moné crowning. We obviously knew that was going to happen. I wouldn't necessarily say Willow is a transitional champion in this case, because I could totally see her going at Mercedes Moné again for this match, for this title. Or even maybe it's time for Willow to move on to something bigger. Being that this technically is the mid-card title, which we talked about on the previous show when we were having our discussion about what her comments were last week. As far as what I feel about my comments about her from last week, that doesn't change anything. I still feel the same. She's not the greatest horseman. She's not the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Is she great? Yes, but she's not the greatest of all time right now. She still has plenty more to do, and not for nothing. I like Professor said last week. You're the greatest if you're going at the big titles. Why are you going at the mid card? Just saying. I'm just gonna wait. That's just me. I know they call me honey, and I'm a little sweet, but I have a little spice too. So especially for Mercedes. I just have it.
I feel you. So this is something that I did agree with y'all until I watched this match. With her winning this showed me something very important. And yes, if we do not get Honey versus Mercedes in some point in 2025, it is criminal. It is criminal.
I tell you, my husband would be crying. I'd make him a special guest referee. He'll cry his eyes out.
The commentator. I just want to go sit with Taz and them. Get them off. But one thing this showed me, and I don't think, and this doesn't have to do with Mercedes Moné. This has nothing to do with Willow Nightingale. This has to do with fake TK. With her winning this, you let me know outside the AEW championship, none of these belts mean shit. None of these belts mean absolutely anything in AEW outside of the World Heavyweight Championship. Because, again, I understand that this is her debut. How in the world is the top championship in the women's division the mid-card match?
Don't know.
How is Timeless Tony Storm the fourth match at a paper at your what's considered one of your big four? You have just shown us that TBS championship means more than the AEW Women's World title. And consistently are now showing us that these belts do not matter. You are just like, I think, honey, you said it earlier. Y'all are just throwing these titles to say you got it. Same thing with Okada. What is he, the Continental Champion? And so what? It's not what you took IN off, and now that's a championship. Oh, you got the International Championship. What the fuck is the difference?
Let's be realistic for a minute.
Like it is really showing us that this is the structure in which y'all are missing in making these titles important. You made the AEW championship very important. All of these matches showed tonight, though, on this pay-per-view, showed that none of those titles mattered. If you saw Edge versus Malachi, did you even care that a title was on the line? No. Trios championship, you didn't care that the title was on the line. Matter of fact, they had 19 belts in the ring when they won. So I don't know exactly what's the unified thing, but they had like a whole bunch of belts in there. Same thing with the women's side. Like, y'all are really showing that none of these titles matter. JD Smith, the artist, said, in general, I think what you're saying about the belts meaning would apply, but in this case, it's unusual situation with Monet. Lots of hype, money, and expectations were involved in the TBS title match. Very, very understandable. Very understandable. But now, let me hint at you with this. Why couldn't they make this a triple threat match for both titles? Timeless Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale.
Oh.
Who comes out the double champion? That shows you that how is your B card title the first of 3 main events? And again, I understand the Moné thing, but the fact that your women's champion is your 4th match on your card is letting me know these belts don't mean anything. And that's a problem. Y'all need to start really establishing if you're going to have and again, you have way too many belts, first and foremost. Have way too many belts running around. You need to establish what these are. And then too, it slipped my mind that the Young Bucks are the tag team champs. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
And when is the last time they defended the tag team championships?
Well, they about to.
Yeah,
They about to.
Hope so. Since you got a Reebok deal and sneakers and stuff, you better be defending them titles. But that's why I say I don't blame Monet on this. I don't blame Willow Nightingale on this. I blame them not making these titles mean something. And that's what this was. Because again, now too, if she loses it to Willow, because again, now it's what? She's won, Willow's won. We still need the best 2 out of 3. Willow retains it, and now she's champ again, especially now that she is about to be separated from her little clique. That doesn't hurt Monet. Right. Mercedes has been clear for 7 months, and the vibe she gave at her scrum was unless a title wasn't going to be gifted to her on a silver platter, she wasn't showing up. What else now from Monet? Again, there's so much still left for her. That's what I'm saying. If Willow wins this at the next pay-per-view, it still doesn't stop Mercedes. It still can keep her red hot. TK spun 10 to get Sasha Banks. He's desperate to get that money back now. That's fine. But again, that still does not take away that because you had her win this title, you show how irrelevant your top title is supposed to be. Then it's just like Mercedes on there fine. She can do what she wants. Situation happened between when Mercedes walks off the job. Hey, I mean, we
I wouldn't put it past her, man. That's exactly one of the reasons why I can't put her in my top. I can't put her in my top 4 horsemen. Yeah. That's why I can't do it.
That's another reason why I couldn't make CM Punk best in the world. You took your ball and went on, bro. Can't mess with you. That's why I didn't like this for her Consummate and Honey. She didn't need a title in her debut. She should have had a splash match here. Yeah, I mean squash match. No, and you know what? You didn't need a squash match. That's what I'm saying. All of these matches do not require titles. Her and Willow going up against each other just as like, hey, this is part 2 was strong enough to be at any position of the card. No, Honey's not a hater.
I'm not saying I'm just honest, man. I don't got. You know, I'm not saying I don't respect her, and I'm not saying I don't like her. I'm just saying like I wouldn't consider her my favorite horseman. She's not my top, and that's fine. We could agree to disagree, Eddie. We good.
Yeah.
It's all love.
Same way I don't think CM Punk is best in the world, and I think he's a hypocrite. You took your ball and went home when The Rock came and took your spot, but don't nobody ask, well, when you came back, whose spot did you take?
Okay.
Did they look over for you to give you what? The best number in the Royal Rumble, which is number 27, where all those folks normally, the highest percentage of people that win, who'd you walk over for that?
Right.
Don't feel like you don't have enough clout now to where they'll give you that. So that's why I'm just saying too, like when it comes to this, I do not blame Mercedes Moné or Willow Nightingale. I blame that y'all have not given true legitimacy to any of these titles, and you're just throwing it on these people just to say, like, hey, we got a champion. Because if I'm being honest, out of all these championships, I can't think of one champion who has had a solid run, except for Toni Storm as the women's champion and everybody in the AEW World Championship picture. Besides that, those are the only two. You can't give me a good TBS champion. Can't give me a good TNT champion. I love that it's on Adam. Adam doesn't need it though. So it doesn't make him the one where I want to go for that title. Right. Don't know what you're doing with the trios title. Tag teams don't even matter anymore. And you got the same.
But you have all this stuff, all these people on your roster.
Not to mention Ring of Honor running around here. So it's just like, yo, these are one of the things of where, like, though y'all had a great pay-per-view, these are the things that you got to kind of start to work on when these things are changing. But Miro stuff, where's Miro? That stuff became unforgettable. Look what they did to him. That could have been the potential to be a great TNT champion and to run it just like it was when he was Rusev. But what happened? They went put him back, and they went put him in the back of catering, just like the rest of these other people. But I don't want to say too harping on this, but I'm gonna let you go.
I was just gonna say, congratulations to her. She got her crowning moment, and let's just see what she does with it. I hope she doesn't disappoint. I hope she gives us what she got in her pocket, our money's worth. You know what I'm saying? And just call it a day. I think we should run through. I don't want to discredit the last two matches. I do want to talk about them and run through them really quick. If you want to just briefly summarize them, because we do got to get into Raw, and we are already pressed for time.
Yes, we are. So just to go, I'm kind of go through a speed round with this. As she did retain, there were a video that was out. Wasn't able to find it right now, but a video out that her and Bayley were celebrating her win that night after she did take it. Moving into we went into the AEW World Championship, Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. Swerve Strickland remained champion, thank God, because they'd have burnt Las Vegas down had he lost to Christian Cage. But it was a great match, great storytelling within it, and then proving why this is indeed Swerve's house. Your thoughts on it, honey, real quick before we move into the last match.
I'm just happy Swerve is getting a legit run. I want to kind of see him against not just a veteran competitor in Christian. I mean, Christian is awesome, was an awesome, great first defense. But not first defense, but first pay-per-view defense. But I kind of want to see him go at somebody that's pretty fresh, hot off the presses, and go for some of the younger talent. I mean, there's a lot of vets, but I'm just talking about veterans as far as AEW per se. But shout out to Swerve Strickland, and I just hope that his reign continues to be very healthy.
Oh yeah, likewise, and even to Dylan's point, Swerve versus Ospreay. Can't wait. Cannot wait. And then the final match, Anarchy in the Arena returned, a staple for Double or Nothing now. The Elite versus Team AEW, which was FTR, Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson. Yes, they were killing it outside. I will say that Prince Nana and Shayna was definitely doing it. I'm gonna be honest with you. This match started off cheeks. I'm gonna be honest with you. When it first started off, I I was like, yo, this is ass. I was like, y'all need to stop it. Like, they playing music. They didn't switch to going playing Bryan Danielson's music and stuff. And I'm just like, what is going on? But they somewhat brought it together. In the end, the Elite picked up the victory after Jack Perry was set on fire, after several of Team AEW was thrown through tables, and Darby Allin was strung up like a big slab of cow steak, ready to just be. I don't even know what that was for. Super kicks with thumbtacks were involved, exploding chairs. It was just a crazy mess, and I just have to say, this should have not been the main event. I'm still going to say that. This shouldn't have been the main event. It was cool. I could have been okay with this being the first out of the three, if I'm just being honest. Honey, your thoughts on it real quick.
I think it's just another case of the EVPs being exactly what they are, divas. And, they're just, hogging up a little spotlight, which they've liked to do since AEW has begun. Whether you want to hate me for saying it or not, that's just how I feel when I look at the Young Bucks or the EVPs. I feel like they play into their personalities very well. And, it works for them. It works for them. This match probably shouldn't have been the main event, though I understand why. Considering the chaos that Darby Allin brought. I still can't believe that we're weeks removed from this man getting hit by a bus and he's getting hung upside down and getting beat and coming out with a flamethrower and just freaking burning Jack Perry. And it was just a lot. It was a lot to take in. Probably could have opened up with this per se if you wanted to start off with some chaos, and what I mean? Like, but I guess this is where we are for the main event. But I don't want to say congratulations to the Elite because I'm not a fan of the EVPs, but cool.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, y'all got it, we get it. Just I'll say and leave it at that so we get into the next stuff. Just build something with this. If you're gonna be the Elite, if you're gonna be what technically is the authority, as we've seen before, be that. And let's build that up to where when you did this, it really meant something where it was like the crooked fashion and versus the underdogs that want to save it and bring AEW back to the greatness in which it was. And it wasn't that. It just really seemed like, hey, we're going to do this because it's a part of this pay-per-view. These are the spots we want to do. We want to make sure we show off our new kicks that's going to be out now at Champs for our new shoes. And we just gonna do these spots. And hey, what y'all think about setting somebody on fire? This is what fake TK felt like. Oh, fireworks! I love it. Let's do it. So again, we'll see what all of this brings now with this week's Dynamite and Collision coming out. So that wraps up our recap of Double or Nothing, but we want to keep we're going for still kind of speeding through this. Mark Henry has also said that he will not be signing with AEW, but he is not done with professional wrestling. Honey, your thoughts on what does that mean?
I mean, I think that we had just literally talked about this the other day when the news broke that that his contract was going to be up very soon. So I'm somewhat surprised because I thought he would stay with AEW, but then again, I'm not. I'm welcoming it. I'm welcoming the idea that he's open to it. And you know what, Mark Henry, I'm just gonna say it. Come on home, Papa Bear, because you got wrestling daughters waiting for you on this side. So I think that would be a great opportunity. Mark Henry obviously is a legend in his own right. I think he's gonna get an awesome deal no matter where he goes as a legend. And as a talent scout, coach, whatever have you, because he has a great eye for talent. So, but I think, like Dylan, I was just gonna say, he could be Big Three manager, sickening. Let's go. Let's LFG. Let's go. Fire emojis. Let's do it. I'm here. I'm on board with it. Just bring him back. Run it back.
Yep.
Run it back.
Come on home, Mark. We waiting for you. We got a hug. We got a hug, my friend. Come on through. Again, I agree. I hope that he does sign with WWE and just continues to provide us with some of the best, wrestlers that we have in that pool right now, from Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and so many more. I would just love to see that mind and that talent be there and helping push the wave, especially of this new era for WWE. Keeping this one very short, Tony Khan mentioned that he's going to be doing mixed tag match champions or mixed tag match teams will start being introduced. And the most simple thing I have to say about that is, why don't you fix your tag team division first before you add that shit?
Mm-hmm.
How about that? How about you fix your trios division?
Fix your whole roster. Fix what you're doing first. Make it make sense first, and then give us a mixed tag team, that we can be able to care about.
Yes. Something. First of all, the Cocoa Butter Combat Club. I want that shirt. Okay. Especially when nobody's the Cocoa Butter Combat Club, and you go, huh! Oh, thank you for that one. We'll see what'll come of that. And so I know we got 2 more stories for us to jump into. Honey, I'm gonna let you spearhead this one a little bit because our good old friend Uncle Howdy is back.
He took over the game, man. He took over the video game. Caught me off guard. I was playing that last night too till the wee hours in the morning. I won't say how long, but I was up late playing video games. And I'm just like, I didn't even notice it then. I guess maybe it wasn't on there then. But I woke up this morning and I saw a QR code pop up on my main page, and I was just like, oh snap! Uncle Howdy is taking over every single freaking brand in WWE. Uncle Howdy's taking over WWT live stream now. Uncle Howdy's taking over WWE 2K24, and it had a really, really interesting video that led to a link where it says he sees you, and I think it was cool. I don't know if you saw it, Councilman. Did you see it?
I did see
it. Did you see the clip? Okay. And apparently that, I don't know if anybody remembers as well as those of y'all in the chat and those of you guys watching. I'm sure you guys remember there's been a figure in a lot of these QR code pictures. There's been a figure in white, wearing white lace, and apparently that veil has come off. And by the end of that video, we see that come off, but we don't see a face. It just goes straight to black. What the hell is going on? And considering the QR code that popped up during Saudi Arabia, at a King and Queen of the Ring, it's just so much going on, and I just feel like we're getting so much closer to the end of that rabbit hole and looking into the light and finally seeing it before our eyes. Yes. So I'm really excited. I'm excited. I just can't wait.
I am so excited. And of course, just like the Saudi Arabia video, I started doing my deep dive a little bit. And so one of the things I started noticing was the first video in Saudi Arabia. What I pictured and saw was, because you weren't on here with us, so I just want to recap it real quick. I believe that video was the first of them introducing us to some of the, I'm still going to call them the Children of Wyatt. And I believe that was Nikki Cross, because I did a little bit of a crossover and I could hear the guy that would say, I love this game. It sounded like Killian Dane when I would look back at interviews. And then there's a particular part where the camera is looking in the window before it disconnects and it shows you that little room of the person standing there and it says no connection. You see a figure there and the figure is very small. Yeah. And so I'm like, yo, that's Nikki Cross. I was like, that.
And what does she always do? Just stand in the corner or just stand in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
And so for me, I think the white veil, I think that may be Alexa Bliss. I think that may be her because, again, she just got married. So the whole taking off the veil coming from wedding bliss to cause chaos, I could see that. And then if memory serves me
pun intended there, wedding bliss, pun turned to I see you.
You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going with this? Now, I appreciate that. I'm a little spacey on this one, so just remind me though too. With Alexa Bliss on the game, which character is being shown?
Oh, I think. Oh, wow! I didn't even think of that. Let me see.
Is
Hold
it the
on.
goddess or is it Lilith's? Lilith's,
Let me see. Hold on. WWE 2K24. Alexa. Let me see. Ooh. Hold on. I'm sorry. I got a picture of it popping up and just waiting for it to jump. I think it's just the regular Alexa Bliss. But then again, no, I'm not. No, don't quote me. It's Lily Alexa. It's Lily Alexa.
okay.
I lied.
Okay.
It's got to be Lily Alexa because I know they have Funhouse Ray. And the only reason why I remember is because I'm playing the GM mode and I have Alexa on my roster, so I'm just thinking about like the music that comes on and everything. But yeah, so
I just wanted to make sure. But I think he's now introducing us slightly to the people who are going to be in this group with him. So I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate that special little nobodies. Yeah, when I started hearing it, I heard the accent, and I was just like,
and that's a blast from the past kind of name. Killian Dane used to be beast. I love Killian Dane. I love Sanity. Sanity was one of my favorite fast men.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just like, we're gonna see. But I enjoy consistently how they've been approaching this when it comes to him, putting him within the game for the QR code. Was a little slight disappointed that we didn't see him in the King of the Ring, but I still like the slow burn, and I'm not gonna trip about it. And every time the QR code comes up, please believe myself and Honey are right there. First ones. What's going on? What's happening? Pause this. We got to catch the QR code. So we'll keep up with it. And then hopefully we may see another one tonight, as Monday Night Raw is happening tonight. And one of the matches that are happening is Becky Lynch re-invoking her rematch clause going up against Liv Morgan for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. But breaking news has happened with this, and I'm going to let Honey release the breaking news because she let me know as well, so I feel it only right that she let the WWT universe know as well.
So not only is Becky Lynch the man going to defend put out her rematch clause already after the weekend after this PLE, but Adam Pearce has also made it official that this match will be taking place inside of a steel cage, which is insane because it's like, oh, okay, because I've been wondering for a while now, why haven't we seen any stipulations, like real stipulations or a cage or a chamber or something since War Games, since Survivor Series War Games? We haven't even seen no kind of Hell in the Cell, no nothing. So these girls right here, this being put into a steel cage only tells me this, that these women are about to cook even more, because I feel like this could definitely happen more than one time. If Liv and Becky could keep going and going for as long as it needs to, even while Liv is on her revenge tour, because Becky could just be that thorn in her side. But I think this is also part of Becky possibly going on her little break. Also, her contract is up. There's a lot of talks about that. I think her contract is up sometime this week, next week. Somebody might quote me on that, maybe not. I thought it was
Saturday.
Somebody mentioned Saturday. There you go. Okay, see. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Boza. Appreciate you. So they're just upping the ante with these two, and I love it for Liv. And like I said, I want to see her. If she's going to be a champion and she's going to be a defending champion, she needs to up the ante and pull it off on the man. And we know that she is definitely going to retain, being that this is currently the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. But being that this is in the cage, I can't help but wonder what really is the status of Mommy, and and how close is she to really recovering, and will she come a lot sooner than we think, or does this make room for someone else? There's still a lot going on, and then not to mention, these two have just had bad blood for the last few weeks. So it could honestly just be them two just going at it for a good 25-minute match. I would hope this would be the main event, being that it's in the steel cage. So
I think it has to be, just for the simple fact that it does still involve Judgment Day. And I'm pretty sure that we're not going to see nothing with the World Heavyweight Championship this week anyway, except probably maybe like interaction between Drew and them in the beginning to kick off Raw to tell us about Clash at the Castle. And we pretty much know that like Sammy's not going to be defending this title tonight. So if this ain't the main event, something is wrong. I would expect it to be the main event with the possibility of Becky's last match in WWE tonight. Don't think it's her last match. I think once again, this is one of those like, hey, it's time for also Becky to go take a break.
Like, do you not know who her and her husband are? They're the company couple. They ain't going nowhere. I feel like, I feel like, you know, with the news of Seth's contract being signed and, you know, being that he re-signed and everything, I feel like Becky already did re-sign hers. We just don't know of it yet because everybody was just so hype on the other news that could be happening. You know, that's one way of a tactic. They could just, you know, keep the hush hush. But yeah.
And I always understand it, man. The same way we saw with MJF, man. This place built Becky. Not to say like, you know, Becky did not build it itself, but it's like, yo, Becky has said I owe a lot to this company doing me going the way I went with this place. Like we wouldn't.
It's in her book. It's in her book. It's all in her book. Read her book, man. I'm telling y'all. You will learn you can learn so much more about a person when they write a book.
Yeah, you do. And so I don't suspect her not coming back to WWE. I don't see no chance of her going, hey, I'm signing with AEW. No, not at all. If anything, I see her taking some time off to go be a mom, to go be with her kids, to go hang out with her husband. Her and her husband are finally off at the same time. Like
imagine that. Imagine that.
So it's like, yo, let her go enjoy herself. Let her go enjoy her time with her husband and her daughter to where it's like, yo, but she will definitely be back. There's way too many people now that have modeled themselves after her or have been an inspiration to her, which is why she's one of the top horsemen. Just throwing that out there. With folks like Lyra Valkyria and others that would love to step in the ring with her one more time or for the first time. And I think being able to have this be her final match before vacation to go up against Liv and for Liv to continue to show why she is at the top of the division is just only fitting that it happens in a steel cage because this is also where Becky Lynch signed. You have that extreme side of Liv that I'm sure is going to come out. And we all know our favorite menace is probably going to run down and interfere in this match anyway. Good old Dominic Mysterio is going to jump in here somehow. So I cannot wait to see what happens. Raw is about to kick off in about 12 minutes. And then also, too, we will see Braun Strowman battle JD McDonough tonight on Raw. Those are the only two matches that they've really displayed that's going to happen tonight. So you never know what's going to happen on Raw tonight. We shall see, especially coming off the heels of King of the Ring. And just before we get out of here, I want to also acknowledge our tribal chief as always in his greatness as he's in Hollywood doing his thing. Queen,
happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday. Shout out to Queen Naya. We weren't on the post show together, so we didn't get a chance to let Honey celebrate this. So I want her to be able to close out with giving her opinion about that win, Gunther's win, and then we're going to go ahead and close this thing out. So, Honey, you got the stage right now.
I'm just going to keep Gunther short and just say I was very surprised, but either way, Randy's shoulder was up. Fight me on it if you want to. Moving on to Queen Naya. I told y'all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have been telling you guys for the last few weeks, I said my queen was going to do it justice, and she went through the big three and the hottest new commodity on the Raw roster, okay, in Lyra Valkyria. So y'all can't say nothing about my queen, considering that she has, ever since she's been back since last September, she has been absolutely killing it. She's absolutely slaying it on the mic, what have you, her in-ring performance. There's nothing bad you can say about her anymore. Now all you guys are going to do is just sit back and be pissed and be upset that our queen is now Queen Naya, and she's going to annoy the hell out of y'all for the next 6 to 8 months, as Councilman said last week. So let's just go. Let's go, Queen Naya.
Yes, indeed. And
tribal queen. The tribal queen.
The tribal.
You bow down.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it right there. Like she said, justice for Randy. And I know that wasn't supposed to happen. You want to know why I know that wasn't supposed to happen? Go look at WWE's social media. Notice they didn't put no clips out about that match.
Okay.
No, they didn't put nothing out about the Gunther Randy match.
And didn't I tell you guys? And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Special little nobody. Queen Honey called it. Absolutely. Yes. And not for nothing, I told y'all Gunther wasn't gonna wear that gimmicky ass crown.
You sure did, yeah. I made sure to say that on the reaction.
Nia is gonna wear it. Nia is gonna wear it. But Gunther, you saw it. He just took it. He was not putting that thing on his head. Y'all were not. Y'all did. Oh no, because especially with everything that Gunther stands for, as far as prestige and titles and crowning and everything like that, y'all gonna give him that gimmicky ass crown. It ain't working. That one ain't working. Sorry, y'all.
No, it's not. And so I made sure to mention that on the post show after it ended to make sure that we let them know that, like, hey, y'all said it, y'all called it, you and the professor called it, and it happened. So but yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode of WWT Live. Thank you everybody that joined in today, from Special Little Nobodies, Eric Isaac, Dylan Matthews, Joseph Boza, to the rest of the people who were watching here in the as we were live, people on my live as well, Eddie James, JD the artist. We appreciate y'all coming in, talking, making this a community as always. But before we get up out of here, I want to make sure that Honey gets a chance to let y'all know where to follow her and how to continue to support her. So Honey, you have the stage.
You guys can follow me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays with the WWT Live crew. Shout out to the Boss Lady, Professor, Sed, Jacob, everybody, the whole crew, Christina, Marie, Councilman. As always, such a great time and such a pleasure being around with you. Find me Wrestling with Honey TikTok, Wrestling with Honey Instagram, Wrestling W Honey Facebook, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That YouTube coming up, Wrestling with Honey podcast. I didn't really have Honey Pop predictions today. But I definitely will have them for Friday because they only had announced these two matches and it was pretty late. But don't forget about we have our NXT post show Wednesday morning. Depending on where you're at, it's 10:30 Eastern time over here, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays, and my Honey SmackDown watch along every Friday right here on the WWT Live Network.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate that. And then, of course, myself, you can find me on all social media platforms at Will Farrell, PHARAOH, as well on Twitch. I stream on Wednesdays. Either we do it in fleeting, or we're playing video games, or we're just talking and shooting the shit. On Saturdays, I do straight out of a comic book at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then, just like Honey, you can catch me here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on WWT Live, talking about one of my favorite things in the world, wrestling. So once again, I appreciate that, Dylan. Thank you so much, man. We are glad that y'all enjoyed the episode. We hope you're having a fantastic Memorial Day. Not going to keep y'all any longer because there's some barbecue waiting for me. Honey, I hope you go and grab you some barbecue, and I hope y'all are too. And I hope y'all continue to have a great Memorial Day. And we'll see y'all Wednesday. Thank you for checking out WWT Live.
The number one women's wrestling network on the planet. Acknowledge the Boss Lady TK.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling network on the planet.